Now, another big story. CBS News projects Republican Clay Fuller has won the runoff to replace former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. With 99% of the vote in this morning, Fuller is leading the Democratic opponent, Sean Harris, by roughly 12 percentage points in the race to represent Georgia's 14th Congressional District. He touted the importance of President Trump's endorsement during last night's victory speech.
So much of what the story has been when this race started, and so much of what you're going to hear from the fake news media, is that President Trump doesn't mean anything to Georgia 14 anymore. Well, you can see with the results on March 10th, and you can see the results of what we're seeing here today, that President Trump is the most critical factor in our election, and he has made sure that we are going to win.
Now, back in 2024, President Trump won this district with 68% of the vote. Former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, then a staunch supporter of the president, also decisively won her House race, earning 64% of the vote. Her margin of victory was more than double what Fuller's is projected to be. CBS News correspondent Skyler Henry is covering this election for us. He's been spending quite a bit of time there in Rome, Georgia, a great part of the country. Good morning, Skyler. So tell us more about Clay Fuller, and was the president's endorsement alone the reason for his victory last night?
Yeah, well, it certainly didn't hurt, Errol. This was something that the Fuller campaign had run on for quite some time, ever since the president came down here to Rome several months ago to endorse Fuller. And really, we spoke to him several times over the course of the last several months. He's touted himself as a staunch ally of the president, saying that he will continue to move forward with his America First agenda and really prioritize many of the president's political points when he heads up to Washington, D.C. What is interesting is, as you pointed out, especially considering the fact that former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene walked out of lockstep with the president in recent months, what type of impact that would have on voters here in Northwest Georgia. We asked several of them whether they felt more aligned with the now former Congresswoman or if they still continued to support President Trump. Some saying that they, yes, didn't like some of the policies that the president were moving forward with, especially as it relates to foreign relations. The war in Iran being the main sticking point there, and its impact on everything from oil prices and what that does to the diesel prices here in this region as well. But others also saying that they felt as if the now former Congresswoman left them behind, and they wanted to have someone who represents them move forward in the district. What is of note, and you pointed out the margins here, is that the Democrat, Sean Harris, made significant ground in this race. There's about a 12% margin there between Fuller and Harris. You pointed out him losing by a significant margin between Greene and Harris. I think what we have seen over the course of the last several months is several things. One, a significant portion of Democratic growth here. There's obviously been a lot of investment as it relates to the spending happening here in the state as well. But also, we're seeing perhaps the Democrats in this region slowly start to chip away. Either way, both of these candidates will have to get back on the campaign trail starting today for the primaries happening next month.
Yeah, so much happening there. Skyler, walking us through it all. Thank you very much.